The Oath of Oran. Many years ago, before phones and city noise swallowed the quiet, a small river town called Oran lived by the whispers of the Eru River and the laws of the ancestors. In that town worked a young tailor named Chike. He wasn't rich, but his hands were blessed. Under the shade of a lean-to by the main road, his old sewing machine sang as he stitched clothes that fit like skin. He had no helper, just his tools and his dreams. Life was hard, but Chike stayed cheerful, greeting elders, smiling at everyone, and humming old songs as he worked. The villagers loved his gentle spirit, even as poverty clung to him like a shadow. Across the road sold a yam vendor named Lara, a bright-eyed beauty whose laughter poured like water from a clay pot. On slow afternoons she'd cross over, sit on the low stool by Chike's machine, borrow his small mirror, and chat about market gossip while he nodded, stitching on. She'd pick fallen pins, hold fabric steady, and sometimes simply watch his fingers dance. Neighbors teased, "Chike the tailor, are you sewing cloth or sewing love?" He'd grin and wave them off. Laura would hide her smile, already knowing the truth in her heart. Rainy days drew them closer, sharing shelter, jokes, and long walks home. Lara's mother called Chike a man with a good heart. Her father, strict and skeptical, still grudgingly respected the young tailor's manners. Dreams grew like a strong cassava stem. Chike spoke of a bigger shop and apprentices in uniform shirts, Laura of marrying a God-fearing man who loved her truly. In their small world, they already felt like husband and wife, yet poverty kept reminding them of reality. One golden evening their friendship crossed the line. Love carried them farther than words. Weeks later Lara's belly began to swell. Her mother wailed, her father nearly fainted, neighbors whispered, "The tailor has shamed the house." But Chike refused to run. He stood before her parents and said, "I am responsible. I will marry her even if it costs me everything." In Oran's tradition, it was an abomination to pay a pregnant bride price. The elders demanded the Ifeola, the cleansing of the earth, before any marriage talk. A goat would be slain, its blood poured to the ground, the couple would swear lifelong fidelity before the gods. If either broke the oath, the curse called Okwara, a swelling that starts in the legs, climbs to the belly, and ends in death, would follow. Chike knew the stories well. Still, he agreed. He knelt, listened to the warnings, and swore with trembling lips, believing love stronger than tradition. After the cleansing, Lara's family accepted Chike. No big ceremony, just a quiet meal, a blessing, and two hopeful hearts. Their first home was small but peaceful. Mornings, Chike went to his roadside shade, Laura fetched water, then returned to her yam store. Evenings, they laughed on a wooden bench. Soon a chubby, loud, beautiful baby boy arrived. "Tommy, my joy has come." Chike danced like a madman, sang praises, and shared kola and roasted fish with neighbors. He worked harder than ever, saved every coin, and when the time came, brought palm wine, yams, and money to Lara's father. The elders blessed him. Their union was now complete, before people and spirits. But life does not always reward goodness quickly. As months turned, ready-made clothes flooded Oran from traders coming through Okuta and Riverton. Chike's earnings dropped. He worked dawn to night and still they sometimes ate without meat. Laura watched him counting coins and sighing through his smile. Admiration slowly soured into frustration. Friends flaunted earrings and new wrappers worth more than Chike earned in a month. She lied, "We are fine," but bitterness was growing. 2 years later, twins arrived, 2 lovely girls. The house felt smaller, problems bigger. Laura smiled less, spent evenings with neighbors comparing lives. Love inside her weakened. One festival season, a visiting merchant named Madoki, a tall, wealthy wholesaler of yams and palm oil, strutted in for new outfits. He laughed softly, wore a gold chain, and moved with big man ease. While Chike measured him, Laura listened to tales of large barns and far-off sales, eyeing his smooth skin and expensive shoes. Madoki overpaid for cold drinks, smiled at Laura on the way out, and left a seat behind. He returned praising Chike's perfect work and slipped Laura a small gift, urging her not to refuse. Soon he visited often, bringing fruit or cash for the children, speaking politely to Chike while his eyes lingered on Laura. Her dress sharpened, perfume followed, powder dusted her cheeks. Can't a woman look good? She snapped when Chike asked. When rain fell, Madoki once offered her a ride, the first time she sat in a car. The air smelled sweet, music made her forget. At the gate he pressed 2,000 naira into her palm, for yourself. She hesitated, saw his ring and fine slippers, and accepted. That night she lied about helping a market friend park in the rain. Chike only said, "You did well, my wife," his kindness sinking beneath her growing greed. The visits continued. A neighbor warned softly, "Be careful, Oran's oath does not play with adultery." Laura laughed, "I'll live my life." Soon she slipped away to a secret room Madoki rented in the next village. He showered her with wrappers, shoes, perfume, dressier now than her husband. When Chike asked, she said a friend had dashed her items. He believed, in his heart she was too innocent to lie. One night Laura remembered the oath and the priest's words, "Betray your husband, and the spirit of the land will strike him first." Fear pounded, but by morning she pushed it away, trusting the charms of Mama Kem, a priestess she'd visited, for the children. Madoki gifted her a small phone, "Flash me if you need anything," her first. She hid it under wrappers. Chike came home one evening with news. The chief priest had warned about unfaithful couples. Another man had died of Okora. Chike chuckled sadly. People no longer fear tradition. Laura forced a smile, heart racing. Soon she pitched a business plan. The neighborhood yam stall was dying. People wanted credit and never paid. She should sell in the big market. Chike agreed, trusting her completely. So the lie began. Each dawn Laura carried yams to the market to prove her work, left them with friendly neighbors, and traveled straight on to Madoki's room, spending her days fed, flattered, and kept. At night she staggered home, pretended to be exhausted, and tossed a few notes on the table. "This is all I made." Chike blessed her hands, unaware they'd grown unclean. Then, one morning, Chike woke with heavy legs. He soaked them in warm water, rubbed balm, and returned to work. By the fourth day the swelling grew, his slippers no longer fit, skin shiny and tight. By the next week it had climbed to his knees. Customers whispered, some shook their heads, "The spirits are speaking." In Oran, everyone knew, when a woman shatters the Ifeola oath, the husband's body becomes the land's mouth. Swollen legs were the first message. Chike staggered home early. "Laura, please sit," he whispered. "My legs swell, my belly feels heavy. Have I offended anyone? Or, have you done something I should know?" She jerked her hands away. "Why blame me?" He sighed, "I only want the truth." She hissed and walked off. That night his legs doubled. By morning his stomach bulged like a drum. Neighbors rushed in, gasped, and murmured, "Not malaria. Not poison. Okora." Elder Gobra faced Laura. "Daughter, say the truth. You know what this means." Her lips trembled. "I don't know anything." He warned, "If you keep silent, your husband will go, and the land will not forgive you." Pride sealed her mouth. Chike could not eat, nor sleep, nor even turn in bed. Breath rattled like a fish on sand. Pitying and prying eyes filled the compound. His mother arrived, wailed, and prayed. Chike used his last strength. "Laura, if you have wronged me, tell the truth. I don't want to die. Who will care for our children?" Laura stared away, fear screaming inside, pride holding it shut. Near midnight, he looked at her one last time, tears bright. "Laura, can't you see I'm dying? Where is your conscience?" By morning, he was gone. Oran's priest struck his staff thrice. "The land has spoken. The husband is gone." People cursed Laura. She stood rigid as stone. After the burial, silence crept into her compound. At the river, women stopped talking when she arrived. Children who once called her auntie looked away. She tried to resume business. Nights brought the phantom hum of a sewing machine and dreams of swollen legs and drowning eyes. Her lover came once after the funeral, left stiff words, "Be strong, these things happen," dropped money, and vanished. Shame spread like brushfire. In the market, baskets shifted away from her table. Her goods went untouched. Her children were mocked at school, cursed woman's kids, and fled home in tears, afraid of her touch. One night her eldest asked, sobbing, "Mama, they say you killed Papa. Say it isn't true." She shouted him silence, then collapsed, weeping till dawn. Her body began to betray her, weeping sores on her arms, a sour smell no soap could wash. People whispered that Chike's spirit had touched her. She thought of running to Madoki, but heard he was now ill, worse than she. Fear tightened its claws. She knelt at Chike's grave, begging forgiveness. Pain lashed her like invisible cords. Dogs barked at her door, even the wind felt hostile. Weaker by the day, breath shallow, sores spreading, she wandered under a thunder-lashed sky. The Eru River seemed to call her name. Barefoot, she followed the cold sand to the bank. A sudden wind bent trees, the current roared, then silence. At dawn they found her body near the reeds. The priest performed what must be done. They dug a shallow grave by the water, no songs, no farewells. Even her children watched from a distance, silent. The 3 little ones were left with nothing. Villagers avoided them, fearing the curse might cling. Hungry and barefoot, they begged from door to door, until a passing trader named Mr. Kofi came to buy yams. He saw their red eyes, heard their story, and wept with them. "This is wickedness," he said. "Tradition becomes bondage when it destroys the innocent." He took them to another town, clothed and fed them, and sent them to school. Years later they grew into success. When asked why he helped, Mr. Kofi would say, "If someone bites the lemon, why should another still take?" We must not worship customs that devour families. If a person sins, let that person answer, do not drown the faithful with the faithless. Moral lesson. Love thrives on truth, oaths bind more than 2 people, they bind communities. Poverty tests character, but betrayal multiplies suffering. Any tradition that punishes the innocent alongside the guilty is injustice in sacred clothing, and must be questioned, reformed, or left behind. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more African story.